You keep on running around. You keep on running around. I've had enough of these games. These games. 100 grams.
Run around, got a lot fools. And I still got the crown like a bad tooth. I am cool, I don't gotta act cool. Just follow where I lead you, pack mule. Blowing through the budget, the cash ain't nothing. The way I flip back, straight tens from the judges. Yeah, I'm the too big, can't flush it. Probably got a plunger. Word is, this 10 years in the making. Word is, I'm bringing home the bacon. Word is, they don't see what it take to make it. But the word on the streets, I make it look easy. I'm flattering, cool, way too easy. Word on the street is, I make it look easy. I'm actually smooth, it's far too easy. Word on the streets, I make it look easy. Easy, 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 easy. Word on the street is, I make it look easy. Too easy. Make it look easy, but it's not easy. Whip got wings, yeah, I feel like Ron Weasley. Live like king, so the money ain't measly. Hits like Sting, honey, you cannot beat me. Did it so casual, must be a natural. Heard him say, yeah, it was gradual, but it's diagonal going up. Me in the capital, super compatible. Got me like.
Morning PooTube, hope everyone's good. So I was having, we'll call it a discussion on Wendy's tonight or whatever. Now obviously, like anything else or whatever, they don't stand on anything or whatever and then have to hide their life. Now I don't even know why they do that, to be fair, other than obviously embarrassment of showing themselves up and embarrassment of showing each other up, etc. Now I think it was 4-on-1 at one point or whatever, and I still made them all look ridiculous. Now it's very easy to do that when you stand on your square, the truth, and keep to the facts and the evidence. Now the best evidence is their own words. Now it's one of them, innit? I couldn't give two fucks. People can put anything up from my channel or my channels that I've had or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It would make no difference to me whatsoever. I'm quite happy to stand by anything I've said from start to where we are now. Now, for Wendy and Jupiter, I'm Babs. She wants to get involved, she can be involved. It's a bit awkward for them, innit? Because they've literally all attacked each other and then ended up doing the musical chairs thing and then attacked each other again and then musical chairs. It's very like repetitive, innit? Do you know what I mean? To keep doing the same shit over and over and over and over again. Now, I've said this before or whatever, when you do that, realistically you're just showing the audience or whatever that you actually stand on fuck all. Do you know what I mean? You're showing everybody, as soon as you have a disagreement in one way, shape or form or whatever, you're quite happy to go to the lowest level of the bottom feeder and then going after each other's families and whatever. Now, like I've said before or whatever, to Wendy, to Jupiter, you have actually done the most damage to yourselves by attacking each other in the scumbag level that you have actually gone to. So it's one of them, innit? There's no point pissing and moaning about somebody like myself, which is just pointing out the truth as what has actually happened. I've not twisted anything, I've not bent anything out of shape, I've not lied, I've not instigated any bullshit, and that's probably why I keep winning, to be fair. Keep just wiping the floor with you wankers. Now, there is a lesson to be learnt there, to be fair. Obviously, people like Wendy and Jupiter and Babs are beyond that. They can't actually. I don't think their ego would take being able to take a lesson from simple things or whatever. But you know what I mean, we are where we are, and people are going to do what they're going to do. Now, I've said from day one, and Wake Up UK has actually agreed or whatever on WhatsApp, which some people have seen it, some people have not. Jason Tyler, Wake Up UK, said, well, you know, if you've got problems with Wendy or whatever, it's probably because she's a fucking 7-year troll of Brian Harvey. Now that was his words. So, funny as fuck. Now, I have said from day one, they are nothing but trolls. Now, Babs, on the other hand, is just a useful idiot. Do you know what I mean? She's obviously fucking vulnerable or whatever. She's obviously, something's not quite wired up correctly or whatever. And they'll take advantage of that, full advantage. Now, it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think there's enough people awake to their bullshit already or whatever, and for all the trouble causing and trying to set up this bit of trouble and that bit of trouble, and get Roy to go and confront this one and blah 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 on the 13th. It's one of them, innit? Once you've sort of played that game or whatever, you can't really be shocked if people want to come and confront you on your bullshit. Now, Jupiter was trying to make out tonight, oh, you're saying I'm going to get attacked. No. I've actually tried to warn people of the shit that you're trying to cause, and told people to just not have it, not spoil the day, not give the media what they want, and do you know what I mean? Now, that don't mean that you can't go and confront somebody on camera and question their bullshit. Now, I have been told if Jupiter turns up, she'll be getting a free milkshake. That's just a free milkshake. Do you know what I mean? That's not like a punch in the face, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's a milkshake. Go home, wash it off. It's not the end of the world, is it? Now, there's loads on there or whatever. I don't know if anyone has recorded the whole thing or something. There was loads on there before I jumped on there, and I weren't recording all of that or whatever. So I don't know if anybody's got the whole thing or whatever. It would be good to review what was said, kind of thing, before I jumped on there. At the end of the day, you know what I mean, I jumped on there because I was sort of dared to by Wendy. Like, I'm going to go, I can't jump on the panel. Do you know what I mean? Now, like I say, it turned into 4-on-1 or whatever. And I still, do you know what I mean? Kept it calm, didn't need to fucking be raising my voice. Jupiter was doing the usual, screaming like a fucking banshee, along with Babs just making fucking whatever noise shit that comes out of her mouth. Never any sense, is it? Never anything logical. It's just fucking dumb shit. And she thinks like she's got a point or something, but she never does. She never arrives at any point. She just comes out with nonsense and makes zero sense, or brings nothing to the conversation or whatever. In her head, she's like, oh, I'm sticking up for Jupiter. Now, I did ask Babs tonight, because she was coming out with all this rubbish or whatever. I asked her, didn't you say at one point in time when you weren't speaking to Jupiter, one of them times, that Jupiter is the most racist woman on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? I asked Babs a few things tonight, just because she wanted to inject herself or whatever. Now, to be fair with Babs, she has kind of, if you can remember it, tried to stand on a square somewhat or whatever, whereas Jupiter and Wendy will just, oh, that didn't happen, this didn't happen, blah fucking blah. Not realising that, do you know what I mean, you've got many enemies or whatever, and there's videos for all your bullshit, all your lies, all your nonsense. Now, to me it speaks volumes. Anybody that has to take their shit down or whatever, I mean, there is people like Triller that will put something on for the live or whatever. He might leave it on a day and then he'll take it down or whatever, but he does that as routine or whatever. So I wouldn't class that in the same thing or whatever. When people are doing random stuff and most of it's left up, and then when it don't go their way, they weren't able to serve up the narrative or whatever, then they'll make it private. Then to me that speaks volumes. It's like, well, you know that it fucking don't do you any good. You know that realistically when people watch that and do a bit of fact checking or whatever, there'll only be one outcome. So for that reason, they have to take it down. Now, whether Wendy's just made it private or hidden it behind a paywall because she's a grifter, I don't know. I'm not really too concerned or whatever. I've recorded what I wanted to record. It would have been nice to get the build up to that, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I know there's plenty of Clipper channels at the moment, and maybe it'll get put out in full or whatever, I don't know. It was just quite funny watching them squirm and trying to answer things without starting a shitstorm in between them again or whatever. Because that's the thing with these, do you know what I mean? They can't just have a disagreement or whatever. They have to go deep and start digging into each other's family and whatever. Now, to me, this is why I've said from day one to people like Ghost and whatever, I know it'll suit your narrative, but don't use people like Wendy and Jupiter and fucking Babs as a benchmark for everybody else, because that's just, do you know what I mean? That's just madness. That'd be like me using Anjim Chowdhury or whatever, and fucking people like that or whatever as the benchmark. People like Ali Dower or whatever. If you used to say, oh well, you know, this is what they're all about, and try and group them all up into something using scumbags like that as a benchmark, to me that's disingenuous. And that's why I've said to Ghost, do you know what I mean? People like Wendy, people like Babs, people like fucking Jupiter and whatever, you've got to look at it with the right thing. These people seem to be more about infiltrating groups for the time that they can before they get booted, and just causing loads of problems, turning people against each other, just building hate campaigns built on bullshit. Now, I tripped Jupiter up on fucking loads tonight, and the more she answered, the more she fucking said or whatever. Even when she tried this deflection to something else or whatever, she kept running into fucking the wall with her face. Same with Wendy or whatever. Now, do you know what I mean? All you can kind of do is stand back and look at the bigger picture, realistically. what are Wendy and Jupiter about, realistically? Now, Jupiter a few days ago has admitted, yeah, I came from the left. But then she'll make out that she's always been a Big Tommy supporter, blah blah blah. That weren't true at all. There's been points in time where she's called him an out and out grifter. Now, he was quite inquisitive as to, oh, well, you know, who give you the green light or whatever to do X, Y, and Z. I think the only name that she chucked in was, well, Ginger Tony didn't. I didn't ask who didn't, I said who did. Do you know what I mean? Now, I weren't going to name the person anyway. It's one of them, innit? Has Team Tommy confronted me with anything? No. Do we anticipate that they will do? No. Basically, why would they not do? Because I've absolutely flat packed all kinds of attacks coming at Team Tommy or whatever, all the way back from Eric Heaps, where Wake Up UK had Eric Heaps on for a second time, and he was trying to tell the world that Tommy was poisoning his dogs, Tommy was setting his cars on fire, blah fucking blah. Now, then when you look at the King's flagship, which was all pushed on Wake Up UK, protected by Wake Up UK, in the same scenario. So like when Jupiter and Wendy had this hope not hate character around the situation and whatever, and I've jumped on comments and said, just so you know, just so you're all aware, that person there is Graham Credder, and he came away from Hope Not Hate or whatever not so long ago. Just so you're all aware, the person that's trying to guide you to all handing over £30, and more importantly, your data, which is being harvested by usual suspect, Wake Up UK, Jason Tyler. Now, you could tell full well that Jupiter knew full well what I was getting at, and she kept trying to take us all around the houses and stay away from that point of origin and whatever. And we know why, do you know what I mean? Because she's covered up for this rat for fucking years. Now, she'll always make out, oh, I never speak to him or whatever. She tried like tripping me up, oh, when was the last time I spoke to him? Now, I am aware that she has spoke to him 3 days ago. I haven't watched anything for a couple of days or whatever. And she ended up admitting, like, to prove me wrong, she's like shot herself in the foot, saying, well, actually I spoke to him today. It's like, well, there you go then. You're literally always in contact with your handler. He's forever feeding you all this bullshit. And it ended up where she was reading out loads of his questions like it was a big haha gotcha moment or whatever, and just kept shooting herself in the foot and then shooting Wendy in the feet, and yeah, it's just funny as fuck. I'm not surprised they took it down, obviously. Now, the video that she's trying to run with, this ginger dude or whatever that's trying to shit on things or whatever, she tried it literally last night on Trillers. I don't know if Trillers still left that up or not. I did ask him would he leave it up for a day or something, because I wanted to take a section out of it or whatever. Because unlike Jupiter, I was actually going to do a bit of fact checking on the bullshit or whatever. Now, the scenario is pretty much exactly the same as what happened with Mandy Mosley. Came out with a big story, said, oh, I've been to the police, blah, blah, blah. Just loads of words. And like, oh, you know, just believe me. You just have to believe me. It's like, what the fuck? Now, I did point out it's pretty much like for like the exact same scenario or whatever. It's just another fucking shit campaign built on Billy bullshit. Now, Jupiter and Wendy are trying to make out that a 16-year time served veteran, one of the highest ranking security in this country, is somehow a wonky cunt and this, that and the other and whatever. Now, when I said to her, yep, it's just another hate campaign, she seems to think that that isn't a hate campaign. So you can make up a load of shit about anybody you want, even a time-served veteran and whatever, have no evidence, just your worthless opinion, and then push it around the internet, endangering that person. You got to think, do you know what I mean? When the Viking jumped on Jupiter's show, there was lots of things pulled out of that. He was trying to like prove himself to Jupiter for some mad reason. He mustn't realise, you know, a shit cunt from fucking Hope Not Hate or whatever. Notice he didn't go back on like he was supposed to or whatever. Yeah, so yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. She's going to continue doing this with anybody and everybody that she sees fit to do so. And you've still got the fucking wanky little simp supporting her or whatever. Now, you've got to kind of look at the simps and think, well, what are yous about? What are yous actually about? Because some of yous are making out that you're patriots or whatever. It doesn't look like you are, in all honesty. It doesn't look like you are at all. And people are taking note of this. I keep saying to people or whatever, you know, things that are getting discussed of importance, they don't get discussed on YouTube, they don't get discussed online or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Now, Jupiter makes out that she's got all these connections and she knows all these people. I'm telling you now, she knows no cunt. The only people she's in contact with are the people that was around the situation of Clown World and was around the situation of Mandy Mosley and all that shit. Now, that's like literally two, we might count it as three, possibly 3 people max. They're the only people that she knows. She doesn't know anybody else. Yeah, they don't know anybody, and they only know them because it was trying to be kept civil. You got to think I was given the green light to go and confront all that and flat pack it and whatever, and they knew full well that I would do that because I've done it several times previous to that or whatever. I'm very good at doing what I do or whatever. I'm not blowing my own fucking trumpet, but do you know what I mean? I'm very good at spotting these things. I'm very good at pulling the truth out of a situation. I'm very good at exposing lying shit cunts. The easiest thing they can do, realistically, for me, is to tell lies, because wherever they put lies down, it's very easy to expose from there on. You dig deeper there than you do anywhere else. It is that simple. And I've done so very successfully for several years or whatever. I mean, the attacks with Eric Heaps or whatever, that goes back years. Do you know what I mean? Now, all you have to do is look at Wake Up UK. You know, it's pushed around like he's a patriot or whatever. Not being funny, but when you've been the hub of the King's flag fraud, which was trying to get veterans to storm Parliament based off a scrapbook of a 20-year prolific scammer. It doesn't sit well, does it? When you've had Eric and that Dion and all these other wonky cunts, Tracy Blackwell, fucking James Goddard and all these other shit cunts on there trying to make out like Tommy's poisoning his dogs and burning his cars and all this mad shit and whatever. It doesn't sit well, does it? Then when the Wake Up UK King's flag fraud bullshit sinks, he threw a lifeline to Kayla and welcomed her on board to Wake Up UK. Now, the first structured show that was put together was to attack Tommy. Do you know what I mean? So, when these people are trying to make out, oh, the Patriots, blah, 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 where? Fucking where? When? These people have done nothing but bullshit, cause problems, and drag useful idiots into the situation. And we've seen the grooming that goes on. We're seeing it with Kayla. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I'll look after you, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll get rid of all your trolls in one day. All the accounts will be gone. Blah, fucking blah. All you have to do is make Rick the bad guy. Now, to Kaylee's credit, she said no. She went, no. You know, I can see that wrongs have gone on, and it's not from him, it's from you. And that's why Kaylee was attacked for so long, and she still gets attacked. And the trolls that attack Kaylee mainly are sent by Jason Tyler, Wake Up UK. Now, AJ has admitted it, Danny Jones has admitted it, admitted to being sent our way and make out like, oh, we've just seen it, some random thing, we was watching it through somebody else's live and we've just come to sort of support you, blah blah blah. Now, when they realised that Jason Tyler was actually the poison in the well or whatever, both of them turned on him. You had Danny Jones actually expose him. AJ just trolled the life out of him. Did about 48 videos on him or whatever. It is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Now, the problem with them is when Kaylee did come away from it, as did many other people come away from the scam, she weren't to be given the same opportunities, conditions, etc. for some reason. Now, I've said from day one, everybody has to have the same. You can't treat fucking however many people that came away one way and then treat another person another way, especially when some of the people that did come away from it had been involved for 2 years and Kaylee had only been around it for 9 months. Now, Jupiter and Wendy trying to make out like me and Kaylee are best friends, blah blah blah. I'd invite you all to go and have a look at Kaylee's fucking platform or whatever. Have a look at the, I guess it would be the community posts or whatever. I keep getting tagged in shit campaigns or whatever. I think today's one was this. There's like some video of some old guy or something. This guy wouldn't have died if it weren't for, and then it's got like a long list of people or whatever to do with the word you can't say, the jibby jabby thing, yeah, the C word, which I don't know, I don't think you're allowed to say it still. Now, I've never been for that. I've been quite anti that, because at the end of the day, untested anything is not the best idea, is it, realistically? So I don't know what goes on in Kaylee's head, but we're far from fucking busy mates, do you know what I mean? She's gone her way, or Jake's way, and I've gone mine. Two totally separate fucking directions or whatever, and that's been made pretty clear. But these people need these things to be true to serve up their narrative, because then they can't join one piece of jigsaw to another piece of jigsaw. They need that missing piece to be there, otherwise the other two don't really connect, do they? So I get why they do these things, but realistically everybody's aware, so they just make themselves look foolish time and time and time again, and that's all you can do, realistically. Just keep exposing them for what they are. Now, I did get booted off eventually or whatever. Well, I think I got booted off a few times, kept having me back on and whatever. Now, when you can't just have a continual conversation, bear in mind I was the one that was actually trying to give people opportunity to land and then address what they're saying or whatever. They was just shouting and screaming over each other like fucking wild animals or whatever. I don't think they know the art of a conversation where you actually let somebody land and then address it, and vice versa. I don't think they've, like, for all the time that they've been on panels, I don't think any of them can actually have a conversation. When it comes to debate or whatever, they seem even worse, more emotional, more ridiculous. One thing that seemed to be very clear, that there was really pissed off that myself and Moon had a discussion or whatever. Bear in mind, for 2 weeks before that or something, she kept making out like we had done anyway. Oh, them two on the panel, blah blah blah, this, that and the other, making all sorts of bullshit. Wendy with the dumb comments, oh, Rick's act with Hope Not Hate Me. So we've had that out tonight, and it's been made very clear or whatever. Moon may have said whatever, but according to Jupiter, no, she didn't say that, blah 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 anyway. So neither here nor there, realistically, is it? Has Moon been sat with all them wonky cunts for 10 months, or was that Wendy? So realistically, if you looked at the two, you could only come up with the conclusion, realistically, with Wendy being sat with him and an active participant. She even said tonight that Danny Tomo is a paedophile still now, even though she's admitted that she knows Mandy was lying and this, that and the other and blah fucking blah. She's still like, no, Danny Tomo's a paedophile. So it is what it is, isn't it? I said to Jupiter, so you've just heard Wendy say that, what do you think? And she was like, Funny as fuck. I just love watching these wankers squirm. Now, anybody that is still around these wonky cunts at this point in time, I think you're going to struggle to call yourself a patriot, if I'm honest. That's not what everybody else sees. I'm not really going to say too much, but that's what everybody else sees. They're looking at what's being said. They're looking at the people that are in there protesting that the patriots and shit. Yeah, these things are noted. That's kind of all I'll say on that. So for the people that are hoping to turn up on the 13th and have all these fucking problems and confronting this one with violence and this, that and the other, and I'm going to knock this one out and I'm going to snap this one's jaw, honestly, I would give that shit a rest. If you're gonna turn up at a demonstration where people have actually there for the right reasons or whatever, I wouldn't come with that attitude, because I don't think it would do any justice. I don't think it would do any good. Yeah. So I think that's about it, realistically. yeah, I think that's about it. So if anyone has got the full video or whatever, it would be nice to see that, because I've missed a load already. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know how long it was going before I put any comments down or whatever. It could have been half an hour, 2 hours. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So it would just be nice to be able to see what was said before I jumped on. I only heard about maybe 5-10 minutes before I jumped on. 5 or 10 minutes before I put a comment or whatever down, and then a few minutes later I ended up jumping on because I was dared to by Wendy or whatever. I think I was on there for maybe, I don't know, an hour and a half, somewhere there or whatever. Yeah, we'll see what happens, see what fucking comes of it or whatever. I did record some of Thrillers or whatever yesterday. I was hoping to, yeah, I'll just have to save that, I guess. See, I was hoping to get the bit where Jupiter's jumped on with all the misinformation and bullshit and whatever, and then maybe go over a little bit and point a few facts out, put a bit of evidence forward, and just flush Jupiter down the toilet again or whatever, with the bullshit and the lies. These two crusty old women, these crusty old trolls of hope not hate and whatever, are proper dangerous cunts. Do you know what I mean? These people are just literally problem after problem after problem. And all you have to do is look at the handler of Jupiter and Wendy to a degree or whatever. More so Jupiter, because I think Jupiter's been promised all sorts of shit and, oh, I'll give you all this information and blah blah blah. The amount of shit I pulled them on like tonight or whatever was just funny. And realistically, they had no good answers for fuck all. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Hope everyone's good. Have a good weekend. Look after each other and stay safe.